How's it going, everyone? It is Zigzag here. Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be trying to draw the outlines of countries from memory. I asked my Discord members for 10 countries for me to draw. This was the 10 that they came up with. You're going to have to trust me on this, but yeah, I've not looked at the world map. I have one right in front of me, but I'm not looking at it, I promise. So let's get straight into it. Hopefully you like the list. There's a good combination of hard ones and easy ones here. There's definitely ones I think I'm going to do a good job on, and ones that I know I'm going to completely fail, namely Tajikistan. I have no confidence, literally no confidence doing that one. So let's get straight into the first one here. United States. Let's zoom in and get started. So, okay, so I think Alaska kind of has this kind of shape going on at the start here. And then it kind of has like this peninsula, I remember. And then it goes off like this. And there's a whole bunch of islands that stretch out all the way off screen, as I recall. Okay, so that feels pretty good. There's more islands, but that's basically the idea of it. Then you have like the Anchorage area down here and whatnot. I don't know, there's kind of like some bays in there, I remember. And then you have all kinds of tiny islands running down here, but it's quite thin, as I recall. So we'll just use that to represent the islands. And then, as I recall, it goes kind of straight up, and then there might be something on top as well. Okay, that's my Alaska. I don't think it's too bad. So let's head down for the contiguous United States, which I guess would start all the way down here. I mean, we're going to have to pretend that a bit of BC doesn't exist, just so it fits nicely. But okay, so now we're doing Washington State. So I feel like Washington, you kind of have like the Seattle Bay, so that's my kind of representation of that. But like in terms of Oregon, I can't really remember. It's kind of just straight, I feel like. And then as we hit California, it starts to kind of bear to the east. And so I feel like that's a decent sized Cali. Yeah, we kind of got a huge Alaska, but I feel like that's still decent there. If we cut it off there, then that kind of makes sense, I feel like. Trying to remember the borders of like Arizona and New Mexico. I do feel like it kind of dips down a little bit, and then when we come to like Texas, it goes like a real dip where Mexico is. And then okay, we have like the rest of Texas like this. Okay, so I feel like I'm gonna do this now. Go all the way along here. That's pretty self-explanatory. Then we have like that would be like Michigan. It's kind of the lake. And then we have, now this one's the other side of Michigan. So that's kind of like the separated part. This would be like the Michigan peninsula. And then it kind of goes down like that, right? And this would be like where Illinois is down there. So there we go. Let's just say it goes up like that. Then we have all this bit here. Let's do like New York, and that will be Long Island there, and this can be all New York here. And then, okay, that's fine enough with me, I think. Okay, so Florida comes around like this, I want to say. That's okay. And then Key West, kind of like that. Then we have like all the islands for New Orleans here. That's kind of my outline of New Orleans. Okay, so the Texas like dip down here should be a bit bigger, but I feel like that is like at least decent. And this should maybe around Maine and whatnot should go a little further. But anyway, let's draw Hawaii. I'm just going to draw Hawaii kind of bigger over here. Hawaii kind of goes like this. I feel like that's about as good as I can remember Hawaii, I reckon. Okay, so here is the results. I kind of pasted some outlines here. So the actual United States, I'm very happy with how it went with, well, not very happy, but I'm at least somewhat happy with how it went with Michigan here. Maine should be further north, as I said. You know what? The outline of Florida is not too bad. I kind of got that little bit there, so that kind of checks out. And then, yes, Texas should go a bit further down, but it's not too bad. So then Alaska was pretty accurate. I'm actually happy that I got this peninsula here. You know, not too bad, all things considered. It's a little bit misshapen, but, you know, pretty good, I would say. And then as for Hawaii, that was a bit of a fail. The bigger islands are actually at the south. I was just confusing Honolulu. I was thinking it was the biggest one in terms of size, not only population. As a rating, all the parts combined, it's too stretched to be a really good rating, but I still want to give myself like a 6.5. I think 6.5 or 7, somewhere in that range is pretty fair for that. Okay, so let's just start it like this. I feel like Philippines has like this big kind of head shape one at the top, and this would be like where Manila and all the kind of bigger cities are. And then this one kind of runs off like this, as I recall. And now I'm not really sure how it goes. Let's just say it's kind of like this shaped. Okay, so that would be the main island there. I feel like it might even go further, but now I have to kind of make up islands because I know roughly what Panay and some of the other ones are shaped like, but yeah, not entirely sure either. So let's just say, okay, this is where the artistic license really is going to come into play here. So I feel like Panay's kind of this shape, and then there's one that's kind of phallic shaped, and then there's, I don't know, this one kind of continues on down here, I feel like. There's also this really long one over here. Forget what it's called. I'm sure someone will tell me. But, okay, so then we just have some smaller ones. I feel like this is turning out relatively decent. There's like a really flat one here, I remember. Can't remember what they're called, unfortunately. And then we'll do one here for artistic license. Can't remember which, if any, that would be. And then we have the Davao, the one that has Davao City on it. And I feel like that's kind of this shape. Actually kind of happy with this, to be honest. It's not bad, I think. Okay, so that's my Philippines. Let us see how close to correct we were. Okay, so here we are for comparison. I'm actually relatively happy with how this one went. I forgot the Northern Islands, which is something I remember now. There's like a bunch of islands up north, but this is actually so much better than I thought it would be. You can even kind of see the resemblance of these two and these two, so I'll say that's a massive win right there. I'm really happy with how that one turned out. Even the Davao Island kind of looks somewhat correct. So let's go. That's really nice. Happy with my Philippines. Let's head on to the next one, which is Netherlands. I feel like this one I'm going to struggle with a little more. Belgium border, I'm just going to kind of draw how I expect Belgium to kind of look, because that's what I kind of feel like the Belgian border looks like, okay? And then, like, I know Netherlands kind of has this jut out there. That's probably the most accurate part of the whole thing. I don't know if I'm going to really do much better. Okay, so this one's really rough. Okay, so this is like where the Hague would be. I feel like there might be a jut there, and then it kind of continues on. And then you kind of have, like, these big, like, land reclamation kind of zones here. I don't really know. I know it's roughly this shape, and then it kind of... Okay, this I feel like is not too terrible. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm feeling, and then like there is kind of like the zone where it's, you know, kind of more like land reclamation kind of islands off here. I don't really know if that is at all right, but okay, let's say that's good. I'm kind of happy with it, to be honest. I think this, like, kind of, not peninsula, but this kind of jut out is correct. The rest of the country, we shall see. Okay, I thought this was gonna be terrible, and it's actually not too bad. I can imagine this one being the best one of the video, because that actually kind of looks similar, I can't lie. Basically, even like this indent, I mean, that's kind of like the biggest thing I missed. I feel like everything else is kind of represented there, although all these like kind of peninsulas here I did miss. So Netherlands, I'm going to give myself a 9 for. I really did such a fire job. That's such a W. And now we have one that I should theoretically succeed at. So I want to say Queensland kind of goes up like this. Okay, that looks fairly good. And then, so then I want to say like Arnhem Land up here. I think that's what it's called. And then we kind of have this area around Darwin. Okay, so that's looking actually quite decent then. It's kind of tough. And then we have like Exmouth and like this is the other peninsula, Francis Perron, something like that. Okay, so then the coast kind of comes down like this. So I'm actually kind of happy with how this is looking. And then we kind of have the peninsula that has Perth on it. Okay, so that's kind of looking okay. And then we have the Great Australian Bight, which runs all the way up like this. And then we have the Fleurieu Peninsula here. Okay, so the York Peninsula should be a bit more like that. There we go. Let's draw Kangaroo Island first, which is kind of this shaped, I want to say. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Happy with that. Happy with that. Then South Australia ends off, and we have Victoria down here. We have like the bay with Melbourne in it. Okay, so something like that, I feel like, and then it does kind of dip back in towards Queensland, and there we go. Okay, so that is my Australia effort. Hopefully you guys didn't mind all the detail I put in there. Okay, so these are the Australias. I always forget this part goes up a little more. There's a bit more land there, and yeah, Perth is a little too far south, but all things considered, it actually is pretty accurate. I'm definitely happy with this effort. Overall, Scooby-Doo outline country, pretty good. Moving on, we have Algeria now. This one is probably one of the first really tough ones of the video. I feel like Algeria has this jut like this. I feel like that is what Algeria looks like. So let's do it a bit bigger. I feel like that is Algeria, the country that does that. And then think, oh gosh, this is not good, but I feel like Algeria is kind of this shape. I think I want to just restart once more here. I could be drawing Libya for all I know. So this one really has the potential to be my worst, that's for sure. But I feel like it is something like this. Okay, that looks a little more natural this time. I'm happy with that. Let's see how wrong this is. I feel like it has some straight borders. Let's see. Okay, I see what the problem is here. We have this Algeria is kind of like the opposite shape. I had it. Did I have it confused? Yeah, I drew Libya. No. Oh no, I really drew Libya. That's kind of sad. At least you guys know I wasn't cheating. I mean, damn. That's kind of sad. I'm sorry, Algerians. I know I screwed up. That's where Morocco should be, of course. Okay, well, we had to take one L this video. That's got to be it. Okay, and now we're going to take another one, probably, because we're going to do Tajikistan, and I just have no idea. Okay, let me draw my best post-Soviet borders here. This is not anywhere near correct. That's the best thing I can think of. To be honest, this is the best I can come up with. Is that anywhere near correct? I don't know. I think I'd probably try to draw something like Uzbekistan here. That might be more what it is. Let's find out. Okay, you know something? It's not that bad, but I feel like that's kind of just chance. I don't know. I feel like overall for this one, I think I'm going to say we're going to give ourselves like a 3 or a 3.5 out of 10. I think a 3 out of 10 would be pretty generous here. There's some vague resemblance with this kind of like dip here and this kind of peninsula, or not peninsula, but you know, jut here. But overall, yeah, 3 out of 10 is probably generous there. Okay, let's move on to the next one. New Zealand is much more doable. Let's get it. We have like Auckland here. So Auckland has like a bunch of islands around it, all like this. Okay, and then the rest of the New Zealand, like North Island, kind of like that, I feel like. Okay, that, I mean, it's a little anemic there. That looks a bit better. There's the big volcano up here, and then it kind of, okay, and then I remember it goes long here. Okay, so that actually looks fairly decent, I would say. And now we have the South Island, which kind of, maybe it's a little further away. So Wellington would be down here, and then I feel like the South Island kind of dips in like that. They kind of like almost look like they should be together. Let's continue to draw this, and then it kind of just goes fairly straight, I feel like, before it hits the end. And then as for here, let's go like that. And then we have like Christchurch. That's what I'm going to draw that little peninsula for Christchurch there. And then just kind of, and Dunedin might even have one as well. I can't remember. And then, yeah, it's kind of like that at the end, I guess. And then there's the little islands here. There's the Antipodes out here. Draw them kind of small. And then there's the other ones out there. I don't know. That is going to be my New Zealand. It's a little, it should be like more like that. I feel like it's, the South Island's a little thick. A little bit of a thick boy, but let's find out how we actually did here. Okay, so here's our real New Zealand. That's why I was thinking it was a bit thick, because the South Island is a little bit pushed up from where Wellington is, so the whole thing needs to be a bit further that way. You can see actually the Antipodes. I kind of did them the right distance away, so that's good. Also, this like south little islands here, forget what they are. But look, Christchurch, everything's there. Everything's there. It's just a little bit inaccurate. I'm pretty happy with that. Auckland area is probably the worst bit. But I feel like if I redrew that, I could do it much better. So happy with that. I think we're going to give ourselves on New Zealand a 7 out of 10. It could be 7.5, honestly. I'm happy with that. Okay, Indonesia now. Sumatra first. Let's go with Sumatra. So I want to say Sumatra's kind of more like this. Yeah, so this kind of feels somewhat correct, I would say. And then it gets a bit thinner to the top. It gets a bit thinner on one side. I can't remember which side it should be. But we're stuck with that now, okay? And then Java. Say Java's kind of this shaped, and then we have like a bit of a bay here, I feel like, for Java. Not really too sure. And then we have Bali, which is more like this kind of shape, but then we have like Timor at the end, and I'm just going to draw it as if it's, you know, all one thing there. Okay, so that's okay. And then we have Borneo here. It's going to look better if I draw the Malaysian side of Borneo as well, I think. So Borneo is kind of like angles itself up like this, and then kind of comes in like this, and you know, something like that. This is actually looking pretty decent, I want to say. And then Sarawak has like a bit of a indent in there, so that looks okay as well. Feeling fairly fine about that. Although Borneo should probably be further north here, which I probably, can I do that? Okay, but we can just say it's a bit further north, I want to say. And then Sulawesi, I remember that the one peninsula goes like this, and the other maybe something like that. And then one goes like this, and then the other one goes all the way like that, I feel like. So that actually looks pretty good for Sulawesi, I would say. And then we move on to Papua. And Papua, I can't really remember how it goes, but something like that. Okay, that is my Indonesia. It's very spread out and strange. We also have like a few islands in like this, I feel like. But that's about what I've got to show for that. I feel like this is okay, but the scale is all kind of off. Like each island looks okay in itself, but then altogether it's kind of terrible. And also this, not good, but okay, let's find out. Okay, so here is the comparison. So first things first, Sulawesi looks quite decent, although yeah, okay, so I kind of made up this peninsula here. It doesn't actually exist, that it should be the other side. So I missed a whole bunch of islands here, but this looks okay. Kind of bad, to be honest. Borneo's great. Borneo's happy and good, although it's kind of missing the Malaysian side of it here, so that's kind of what it more accurately looks like, I would say. Sumatra's more or less the right size. Java should be a bit longer, but it has kind of the right jut in it. And then Bali's a bit big, and so are some of these other islands, and then Timor kind of looks similar, so I'm happy with it overall. I'm going to give myself like a 5.5 for Indonesia. I'll say it's decent, so why not? All right, so Monaco now. This one's going to be interesting, a micronation. I wonder how I'm going to go. Probably quite badly, but it should be, so it's kind of this shape overall. It's kind of this shape against France, so I could imagine it's kind of going to be like this, right? And then now we're like literally drawing individual jetties and stuff. Like it's that small. So I feel like it has like a jut out here of some kind, and then, oh, this is really, okay, then it has like the bay where you have all these little like jetties and whatnot. This is like the famous part where you have the racetrack and whatnot. And then we'll draw something like that. Okay, that's my Monaco. Very, very rough. It's probably a bit more straight like that, but overall, I could see it. I could see it. We could be close here. You know what? That's actually a massive success. I mean, like, disregarding this part and kind of the border with France, which is a bit straighter than I thought, like, all the ideas are there. I'm really happy with this one, actually. Monaco is a W. I'm going to give myself like a 6.5 for that, which is kind of higher than I expected because it's not a country I'm too familiar with, but I guess it is just kind of distinctive. Even like, you can kind of see the vague mental image that popped up in my head when I had to do this one. And finally, dreaded Angola. This one was always going to be probably the toughest of the video, if not, apart from Tajikistan, probably. And so, let's see how we do. Okay, so Angola, it's on the coast. I feel like there might be, like, kind of, where Luanda is, there might be kind of like a cove, but I can't really remember. And then, okay, I feel like it does have a straight border with Namibia, or is it Namibia that it borders down there? I think so. And then I think it does have like a not peninsula, but a jut out there, something like that. And it does have some straight borders. This is what's making it tough. But, you know, it's something like this, I think. It might have more of a bay like that, but apart from that, I think it's okay. Okay, so these Angolas are not entirely dissimilar, although, you know what? It's forgivable. It is forgivable. There is like a similar form to it. However, it's not perfect. This one's got to be like a 4.5 out of 10. But I do want to pull up Congo and see if that was actually the more similar one. Okay, so here's Congo. It kind of does like bear more of a resemblance to Congo. It's kind of like halfway between. Overall, yeah, I think I'd probably give myself like 4.5 or a 5 out of 10 for Angola. But guys, I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. This was actually good fun. And looking back on some of these, Monaco a success. Indonesia, a relative success. New Zealand, a bit strange, but still successful. Tajikistan, a fail, but, you know, a tight fail. It wasn't too bad. Algeria was the real failure of the video, but all the other countries, I mean, this one is super impressive. This one, I have no idea how I pulled it off so nicely. I'm telling you guys, I didn't look at anything before the video. But yeah, overall, a real success of a video. USA looking a little strange, I must say. But guys, I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in a video very soon. Till then, goodbye.